Hello and welcome back to another Walking Dead video, and today I'm going to talk about the top 10 best characters in the Walking Dead universe. I'll look at all 7 shows and pick out my favourites, and a quick disclaimer, it has to be one episode. If they are credited in more than one episode or more than one show, they will not be on this list. So Dr. Jenner, even though he's a great character, is not applicable for this list. So let's jump right into this with number 10, Gelmo, and he's a character we meet in season 1 of The Walking Dead, and one of the only other characters we meet in the early seasons not from Rick's group, and he's really interesting. I really enjoy this character because he gives us a different look at how other communities are surviving, and they really set him up to maybe be this potential villain, but they're really just this gang of people that have just gone, okay, we're going to go and protect the elderly. He's a really interesting character, and he's barely in the episode he's in, but it's really nice to see other characters and other people surviving in this outbreak. Number 9 is Georgie, and we meet her in season 8 of The Walking Dead, and she's really interesting because a lot of the things that happen, especially with Maggie, don't happen without Georgie. She's a very, very important character, and she might only appear in one episode, but she is mentioned in the next following 3 seasons constantly with, where's Maggie gone? She left with Georgie, and when Maggie comes back, Georgie's doing this, Georgie's doing that. She's a character that is only in one episode, but she is never forgotten, and I really like how she had such a big impact on the events of The Walking Dead, very indirectly with her giving Maggie everything they need to rebuild their communities. It's a really interesting small character. Now, number 8 is Joe from Tales of The Walking Dead, and this is Terry Crews, so of course he's going to be on this list. It's a shame he's only in one episode. Terry Crews playing Joe is amazing. He's very funny, he's very charismatic, and Joe's just this really cool, down-to-earth guy that just wants a friend. I really enjoyed this Tales of the Walking Dead episode, and it was mostly because of Terry Crews and his character of Joe. Number 7 is Maze. Such a really cool and really in-depth villain for a COVID episode. The episode One More is really made by Maze and the actor's performance, and how scary he is, but also how much it really does show how the world can break people and how our characters have really just been shouted all these years and now their walls are down. This could be their potential future, what Maze becomes. He's such an interesting character, and he deserves to be mentioned. Now, number 6 is Joselin. She is a character in the flashback of season 9, episode 15. And she is such a cool sudden villain. She's a character that Michonne knows from her past. And you think she's this ordinary character, but turns out she is trying to raise little murderers. She's such a cool villain. I really like her connection with Michonne. So Michonne lets her guard down. And because of that, Alexandria loses all of his children. And Michonne has to go face Joselin. Such a cool little villain for one episode. And I really like these one episode villains because it shows how messed up the world is, and because Joselin's been living in it for years, how messed up ordinary people can become trying to live in the wasteland in the Walking Dead universe. Number 5 is Nat from The Ones Who Live episode 2, and he's such a really nice character. I thought he was just going to be there a lot of the time, but he's really developed, he's really interesting, and I really like his relationship with Michonne. Even though they're only in literally one episode together, their relationship is so well developed, and that is such a well developed character. The only thing I don't like about his character is he's just killed off, and now he's a one-off character. It really does suck. I wish we had more with Nat, but what we got was still a great character. And number 4 is Emil, the bounty hunter from Fear the Walking Dead Season 6. And this is a great one-off character. And Fear, in those kind of Season 6 and Season 7, they do have a lot of really interesting and good one-off or 2-episode characters. And I think the best by far is Emil. And it felt so good that they were like, okay, we're going to retcon that he has a brother so we can bring the actor back. And it's a shame we didn't do anything with the brother. But Emil as a character, perfect villain for Morgan, and it really does help develop Morgan's character in such an interesting way. He is such a cool bounty hunter. He really does feel like this cowboy looking for an outlaw. He's so cool, and I really enjoy this character. He is very menacing and definitely has this presence a lot of one-off characters just do not have, and that staying power in your mind, and he deserves to be number 4 for me. And number 3 is Okafor, and this is another Ones Who Live character, and he is one of the best developed one-off characters just out there. He is really interesting and really like in-depth. You get a lot of backstory with this character, and I really like how it's tied into Operation Cobalt and the Fall. We get a lot to do with how the world fell, and we find out a lot of it through Okafor. He is this mentor to Rick Grimes, and Rick Grimes is very reluctant at first, but he really does like slowly warm up to Okafor, and we all feel like we do it too as viewers. He's a really interesting character, and I definitely think if The Ones Who Live wasn't forced to be 6 episodes, you could have definitely given Okafor maybe 2 or 3 episodes, and he would have been one of the best characters in that show. However, with him only having 1, he's still absolutely amazing and has this definite staying power, and you're not going to forget about Okafor anytime soon, especially how gory his death is. He is such a great one-off character, and he really does a lot for that show. It shows how well he's performed and how well the writing is around episode 1 and Okafor. And number 2 is Eastman, a character from season 6 of The Walking Dead, and he started Morgan's journey about all life is precious. He was there at the start of Morgan's character arc, and he was also there as a gravestone right at the end in season 8 of Fear the Walking Dead, saying goodbye to Morgan. Eastman is such a great character, and a lot of people, when you think of one-off characters, you think of Eastman. That shows how great he is. We haven't seen this character in almost a decade, and he is still one of the best one-off characters, and I think it's definitely because the episode was extended, so they gave their time to developing the character of Eastman. Like, we have a whole backstory about him. We know what he did before. We know how he tragically lost his family and he gave into his darkness and ended up killing their killer by making him starve to death. He is a very complex character and very fleshed out character for only 50 minutes. He is such a good character, and if you're a massive fan of Morgan, you're probably going to be a big fan of the character of Eastman too. He is such a great character, and he definitely deserves to be number 2, but number 1 is Lucille. For me, she is my favourite one-off character, and as soon as we went into the episode, we know Lucille was doomed because there's a bat named after her. She has such a tragic episode. Here's Negan is one of my favourite episodes of The Walking Dead, and it's a COVID episode, and what made that so strong is Lucille and Negan's relationship, and what really helped is they got Jeffrey D. Morgan's real wife to play Lucille, so you had this proper chemistry between these two people. It was such a believable relationship, and because they were selling it because they're actually married, they have this chemistry, they actually love each other, you really got to care about Lucille, and it's heart-wrenching when she kills herself. Lucille is this character which we heard about for years, and we just weren't ready, or at least I wasn't ready, to see how her story went down, and that's solely because of how well written the episode is, how well paced, and how well every actor performed in that episode. Every actor gave it their all, and the strongest thing in my opinion is definitely they had the perfect casting. I think a lot of casting in The Walking Dead is done almost perfect or really well, but I think no one else could have played Lucille than who they got, Jeffrey D. Morgan's wife. She was the perfect choice for Lucille because of you had that real connection with the actors, and she deserves to be number 1 in my opinion, because no one's ever going to forget about his Negan, and no one ever is going to forget about Lucille and Negan. And this is just my list, so please tell me down below, what do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? What are your top 10 best one-off characters? And a quick thank you to Hanzo CF3MH for providing this great what if video idea. So this is it for me today, and thank you, and I'll talk to you on another video. Peace out.